politics, business, sports, arts, music. Mike and Marty on the feed. Mike and Marty.
Good morning, Bellows Falls and Keene, and welcome to the feed. I'm here with Mike and Marty and Bonnie Anderson. We're going to be talking about the Community Bike Project today. I'm back from a week in Florida.
In sunny Florida.
Wonderful time. Yeah.
You missed rain.
That's what I understand.
Pretty much raining cold.
It was warmer when I left.
It was.
It was terrible. We came back and it was snowing last night, and it was, my goodness.
We had that little bit of faux spring, and now we're in real spring.
Yeah.
So,
but maybe in the next week, I see where it's going to be in the 60s next week.
I think so. I think we're cruising. Yeah.
Anyway. Marty with local events.
Local events. So the Bells Falls Opera House, the movies and the classic movies will resume after Matilda. This is the last weekend for Matilda. Performances are Thursday evening, Friday evening. There's a Saturday matinee, and then the Saturday evening.
And here's Marty's review.
Here's my review. We did have David on last week, and he told you all of the exciting things and how the set was going to be designed, how the set was going to work and how they were going to do everything. And it was just amazing. It was amazing to know like the challenges that he faced with the set, and then to see how it all worked. And from my perspective, it seemed to work seamlessly. I don't know if there was angst behind the curtains at all, but it seemed to work seamlessly. It's a fun musical. I mean, again, you might think, okay, I've seen the movie, I've read the book, I know the storyline. How much fun can it be? It was fun. The characters, the costuming, everyone with the British accent, which was just fun, which I think was very fun. I know that I didn't check tickets and seating availability. I do know except for the Saturday matinee. When I checked it, I did check it a couple days ago. It's getting tight, but I think the evening performances Thursday, Friday, and then Saturday evening. There's still tickets, and the nice thing is the balcony is open, so those tickets are only like, I think they're like $20, like 18 plus tax, 15. Oh, even better. Wow. So you do have an opportunity to have to buy a ticket at a very reasonable rate, and still, I don't care where you are in that theater, you got a good sight line. A good hearing line. So,
and you want to go on the Opera House website.
Exactly.
That's an important thing. I heard there's a scam something
site
out there.
Yep.
So go on the Opera House website to get your tickets, and then you'll be good to go.
Which is bellsfallsoperahouse.org. On Monday, this coming Monday, speaking of the Bells Falls Opera House, at the Bells Falls Opera House, there will be a Bells Falls Town Hall with Senator Becca Balint. So that is happening. Congresswoman, sorry. Isn't she in the Senate in the Congress?
No.
Or she's House?
It's Peter Welch and Bernie are the senators, and she's the congresswoman. Congressperson. However you want to say that.
Anywho, she represents us in Washington, and she's going to be doing an not open house, but a town hall, and it will be live streaming on YouTube. I don't know the details of how you connect to that.
Because she is really coming out. She's really being vocal, talking a lot, and really standing up. So that's great.
So if you have concerns, you can actually, if you go to her Facebook page, that's where I found the information. There's a link that you can click on to sign up. You don't have to sign up for the event. You can just show up. But if you sign up, there's a portion where you can put what your concerns are, so that she can know ahead of time, like what one thing do you want to know about type thing. On Sunday, April 27th, it's that time of the year again. It's the Women's Club Tea. It's from 2 to 4. It's at the Masonic Temple. I won't give away any of the details because Nancy McAuliffe is coming next week to talk about that.
Great.
And then on Tuesday, April 29th, it is the Full Bowls Fiesta Annual Dinner. So the Greater Falls Regional Chamber of Commerce is having their annual dinner. They're going to be announcing their new director. They have done a pretty extensive search, and they had some interviews, and they have found a new director. That person will be at the annual dinner. It's at the Bells Falls Country Club. It's 5:30 to 7 p.m. If you go to the Greater Falls Regional Chamber of Commerce website, you can get ticket information.
So full bowls is opposite of empty bowls? Is that the idea?
I don't know. I don't know why they're calling it Full Bowls Fiesta Dinner. I don't know.
Oh, interesting.
Don't know.
Well, we'll have to get the details and fill people in.
Doesn't really say much. It doesn't really explain that. It's just it's a Mexican themed dinner. I don't know why they called it Full Bowls. Hence Full Bowls Fiesta Dinner.
Sounds good.
And you would see on the graphic that we have.
No, if we you will see on
you will see on the graphic that we have. That will come up. And that's what I've got for local events.
Right. Bonnie Anderson, welcome.
Hello,
Good
thank
to
you.
see you again.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the Community Bike Projects has some big projects coming up, some big events coming up. But what happened? How did the Community Bike Project come about? And give us a little history.
Well, we are in our 12th year. So in 2012, I kind of got the idea then, just having moved down from Burlington, and just kind of saw that the town needed something like this. There wasn't a bike shop, and there weren't that many people biking. But I sort of modeled it after the one in Burlington, which used to be called Biker Cycle Vermont. Now it's called Old Spokes Home. Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah, it's great. So, so I just kind of got it started. I got a board together, and it just got rolling. And so we opened our. We started with fundraisers before we even had a space. And then we had our first fundraiser was at the Opera House, actually, showing Breaking Away. Anyway, we got our first space that summer at 24 Canal Street, and we were taking donated bikes. And so they basically what we do is we
What do you do?
Right. We we take donated bikes, we fix them up, and we get all kinds of types of bikes
All
and
shapes and
conditions.
sizes,
Yes,
right.
exactly. And we fix them up and we sell them. We try to keep them affordable for people, and we also do sometimes give away bikes or just we don't turn anyone away for lack of funds. So we really want everyone to have a bike who needs a bike. And people have, over the years, worked toward a bike.
Yeah.
So they do work for you, like an in-kind kind of thing. They do the work.
Yeah, where they
sweat
do some
equity. I guess,
volunteer.
would be
Yeah,
like
exactly, and that'll bring the price way down. And there's just all different ways that people can get
Yeah,
bikes.
there's a whole ecosystem there. Isn't there? Like you sort of work with people who want to learn how to work on bikes and people who ride bikes.
Absolutely.
And groups who ride bikes. I mean, it's amazing. It's not just, we take these bikes and then we sell them. It's
Right.
really,
Oh, yeah,
it is our community within the community. It's
It is.
amazing.
Yeah, kids come by all the time. I mean, not so much in the winter, of course, but they come by, they tinker on their bikes, we help them, they help their friends. It's really cool how that works. And plus we've also worked officially, like in the after-school program, a regular
people
weekly.
how to-
Yeah. And then we also do safe riding with the kids. So just teaching, a lot of kids don't know how to safely navigate the streets of Bellows Falls. So we teach them that. And just having fun riding, just getting them out there riding.
Just getting them out.
Yeah,
getting them off their
exactly.
phones and
Yeah.
I mean, back, even just like 20, 30 years ago, that was what kids did in the summer. They rode their bikes, and then it kind of,
Yeah, sort of.
Exactly.
died out.
Yeah. I mean, there are some throngs of them that you see now, but we really want kids to learn more repair and maintenance skills to at a young age teach them not only responsibility for their bike, but it's sort of teaches them self-sufficiency.
I was just going to say, there's some life skills in there.
Exactly.
The idea that when you have something, you have to take care of it.
Yep.
Whether it be a bike, whether it be your car, whether it be your house, whether it be anything like that, you got to take care of it.
Yeah. So we have been since last fall offering an open shop. So we're not doing the after-school program with the school right now because they don't have it. So we just are doing it on our own. So we have an open shop Thursdays from 3 to 4:30, and it's free for kids. And basically, they can bring their own bike in, and we can show them how to do whatever small basic repairs or maintenance, or they can just come in without a bike and we teach them stuff on their bike. So we're hoping that'll start picking up. We need to promote it again after the winter. And then we also want to start an adult, just basic maintenance, flat fixing kind of thing. once a week. I don't know if it's going to be once a week or twice a month or something
Based
like
on
that.
demand.
Yeah.
So let's back up a little bit. So you started out on Canal Street.
Yeah.
And then you kind of outgrew it, right?
It
that
wasn't
kinda
so
how it
much.
came?
It wasn't so much outgrowing it as it wasn't a great space for us. It was very dark, hard to heat, and there were two little flights of stairs, and they ended right at the street. They basically dumped you right in
Yeah.
the street, which was a narrow one-way street. So it just wasn't ideal, and it didn't have a lot of light, natural light coming in either. So we started looking around, and we found, probably it was in 2015, we found that the space we're in now
Yeah.
Fuller
was
Laundry.
a laundromat. So
Laundry.
it was Fuller Laundry. Yeah, and so they had closed, and it was just sitting there empty. And so I reached out to the owner, and he offered it to us for a really good price. But then it took, rent, that is. But it took I think it was like a whole year. It was a big process for him to get all the equipment out of there and make repairs and make it usable for us. So we moved in there in the summer of 2016, and that was
Yeah.
a big process.
Because now you're very centrally located.
Oh, it's
Yeah.
a great location. It's
Yeah,
just
'cause
so
it has
visible.
enough space where you can put the bikes outside. It
Yep.
has great light, and so you can work inside.
Yeah,
And
lots of natural light, lots of exposure, and accessibility. I mean, people just families, kids walk by all the time, and just having that little parking lot. We don't need a huge one, but just having that little.
Yeah, makes a
so
big difference.
Kids can test ride their bikes.
And you're right next to the street. I'm not sure what street that is, but that street
Henry.
is pretty. It's not very well.
Not very
it's not
busy.
very busy.
Yeah, Henry Street. Yeah, that's where we have people test ride their bikes, except for little kids. And the neighbors have been really supportive of us being there. Not just the neighbors, the whole community, but it's just really been great to hear neighbors say, "Yeah, we're so glad you're there and you're
Yeah,
staying."
you never hear that.
Yeah, true.
But I mean, for most people, it's like, oh,
It's the
not in
opposite.
my backyard.
And then you have, you then had a big push, and you've met your goal. So
To-
you now own the building.
We do, yeah. So backing way up again. So Fred Tipton, who was our former shop manager and head mechanic, who sadly passed away in 2021, before that, he had really kind of generated the idea of maybe buying the building. And he asked the landlord if he might be willing to sell it someday or interested in selling. And he said, yeah, but we weren't in any kind of financial position to even think about it. So we kind of shelved that idea. And then when things got really busy during COVID, we were fortunately one business who we thrived eventually once we got over the big
initials.
humps.
Yeah.
Because everyone wanted bikes, and
Right, because they couldn't really
Yeah, you couldn't.
do anything. So
Yeah.
why not go for a
Yeah,
bike ride? It was
yeah.
someplace you could go. You could be, because you could be outside in a group.
Yeah.
So it made perfect sense. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. So we finally started to feel like we were in a financial position to consider it. So we, in 2022, actually, I got it under contract. But then because it was a laundromat, we had to work with the state to do some testing. But the laundromat had a small dry cleaner in it. And so because of that, we had to do testing. And that kind of delayed for a couple of years, almost 3 years now. And so they do have to do some remediation work in the basement, and that will start happening sometime this year. But we should be able to stay open during that time. Yeah, I don't know. I'll be keeping people updated on that. But we started in 2023 raising money to buy the building. We
Yeah.
started a capital campaign, and that went all the way through last August, and including a silent auction fundraiser specifically to raise money for that. And the community support was fantastic. So throughout all those months, we ended up raising the full amount to buy it. So just
awesome.
over $80,000.
That's
And,
amazing.
Yeah.
You guys.
Yeah. So then the closing was still delayed though. But we had it on March 17th.
Oh,
And,
wonderful.
yeah, which is a lucky day.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's perfect.
Yeah.
Nice.
And it also, we had prior to the town meeting, we had Gary Fox on, and he was talking about like the train station project and the projects, and you can speak to this too. Projects like you they don't happen overnight.
Yeah.
It takes so it's just it's not an unheard of path for you to decide to do something. You move forward, and then 3 years later, you finally reach your goal. But you reached your goal, and that's all that matters at the
Yes.
end.
Yeah.
Not how long it took, but that you got to where you wanted to be.
Yeah.
And yeah, there's always environmental.
Right. Right.
Because we're an old industrial town.
Exactly. And so now we can start making the improvements that we want to make to it, like painting the outside really needs that badly. We've been touching it up here and there, but painting it, doing some weatherization. We eventually need to replace this overhang that's across the front. It's not a main roof; it's just an overhang. That needs to be replaced. And the parking lot is pretty, rugged, to be kind. But we will do all that, and there's grants. So we are going to continue fundraising
Right.
for all these things. And fortunately, we're saving some money by not having a mortgage or rent now. So
That's good.
that's
Your perseverance is really, admirable. You're a good example for the town to be thinking about. Well, when they're doing these projects, we need to look to you and say, well, but it can work.
it can
can
absolutely
work.
be
It
done.
really
Yes.
can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Especially with the great support of this community.
It just takes the drive. You have to keep your eye on the prize. You
Yeah.
kept your eye on the prize.
Yeah.
Your goal was to own the building, and you had some little pivots you probably had to take along the way. But that's just the nature of it. But you have to keep that goal. Like we're going to do this, and it's going to get done. And now you get to kind of reap. Now you get all the rewards of ownership.
Yeah, exactly.
Like you said.
And that's a whole new learning curve for me. So this whole process up until now has been a huge learning curve. Now it's like
Another learning. It's
Yeah.
never-
Now the fun begins.
Oh yeah. But I just want to put a shout out to a whole bunch of people. Our board, we have such a great board of directors, and they've been really helpful throughout this whole process. And our staff, we have two mechanics, Daniel and Aiden. Aiden's a sort of an assistant mechanic, and he came all the way through since he was a kid. He started coming around the bike shop when he was 8, and has been involved sort of on and off over the years. He started volunteering and learning. So he's one of our mechanics, and then all of our volunteers. Thank you to our volunteers and all of our donors, supporters in many ways, and all of our customers. Just thank you because we wouldn't be here.
Right, it takes
Yeah.
a
Without
takes a
you,
community,
yeah.
and you have a new fundraiser.
Yes,
So you have
yes.
funds on the horizon. So you're going to need funds. So tell us about the silent auction.
Yeah,
That
so-
was the format that you used very successfully to raise specifically money for
Yep.
for buying it, and now so you're sticking with what you know. So tell us
Yeah,
about
and we have done these. This is I haven't counted, but we except for the COVID years, we've had a silent auction almost every year, and it's always a really fun event. I mean, the one of the biggest things is it brings the community together. So many people come out and they just have a good time. We are going to have this time the Woodpeckers, which is they're a really fun band, mostly from the Brattleboro area. They play old timey swing.
Oh, wow.
And they're very danceable, and and then we have always great food. One of our on our fundraising committee. That's also another thank you to them. So we always have hors d'oeuvres and things like that, and just really nice, and some desserts, just light dessert, and so there will be a cash bar. Oh, so it's going to be at the Moose.
Yeah.
All this information is out of order, but it's
okay.
Saturday.
That's okay. We got
Saturday,
you.
April 26th, from 6 to 9 at the Moose, and it's right down the street from the Bike Project. And yeah, so this there'll be a lot of items. We're
Yeah, what kind of items do
well
you normally get?
mostly this year we're going to be heavier on the gift certificates and
Yeah,
not as
those are
many
always great,
actual
Things.
tangible
Yeah.
items. But we have some unique ones this year. Last year we had a really unique one. We had an airplane, like biplane or whatever ride.
Oh,
I don't know what we're
neat.
getting at this year, but we have a fly fishing trip for two, or outing for two. And
So experiences, you have some experiences.
yeah,
versus
yeah,
just
things
getting a
like that,
thing.
right?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
also just reaching, we've been reaching out to some other places. So, so yeah, and we're going to do some groupings, maybe like downtown, Bellows Falls
Mm-hmm.
groupings, Springfield, things like that.
To get more bang for your buck, you bid on
Yeah.
something that's got a bunch of stuff, like maybe
Exactly.
like lunch in one place and dinner at another, and that
Yeah.
kind of stuff. That's a great idea
Yeah.
because that makes it more, more I don't know, more
Just more fun, and it's
Yeah,
more
yeah.
marketable.
some of them might even have a little item in there, like put it all together. But and we always do a 50-50 cash raffle, and so the entrance is $20, and with that you get the music and the whole experience, but you also get one raffle ticket to put in. We're going to have 3 gift baskets to choose from, and you
nice.
put in
Yeah.
whichever one you want, and so that's always a fun thing. We've been doing that for a number of years. And all the food is just by donation. So in the past we've sold it, but we decided to just do it by donation. And yeah.
Yeah,
So
that's great.
yeah.
I'm sure that people will come forth and give you I'm out for that. Yeah.
Yeah, whatever,
Yeah.
And I think I might have mentioned that. So the Moose runs the bar, so it's
Yes.
cash bar. So and it is accessible. The building's accessible. There's an elevator. I can't think of any other details about that.
I think that's good. We have, so it's, we'll just run them down. April 26th, 6 to 9 p.m., $20 entry fee at the Bells Falls Moose with the band The Woodpeckers. One question I do have is if somebody wanted to be, how can somebody connect with you? What's the easiest way? Should they call? Should they stop by?
Well, stopping by is always great. And also email. You can email me, Bonnie at bfbike.org. The number at the bike shop, if you want to call, is 802-460-0662.
Yeah.
So are you going to, when you start to get to the level of doing some of the projects that you want to do, are you going to do a call for volunteers and a work bee day, or how do you envision, or are you just not sure yet? Because
Yeah, we haven't gotten to that point. But usually I send, for instance, for the auction, I usually reach out to past volunteers, or sometimes, when people come to the bike shop, they write down if they want to volunteer, and I'll include them on it. And then for things like maybe painting the bottom half of the building, not the top half, because that'll be, but the bottom, yeah.
volunteers.
Right. But we might, get a crew together, and I use Front Porch Forum
Okay.
a lot for things like that, and Facebook. We have a pretty active Facebook page, and so I'll just get the
Yeah.
word out that way.
Nice.
Are you going to do the 4th of July this year?
Oh yeah, every year.
That's so much fun. How many? You usually have 50 people.
It seems like it,
it's
yeah,
huge.
yeah. And there's a lot of kids. I mean, it's been going on since before we even
Oh,
existed.
really? Yeah.
Yeah, they just kind of asked us to, once we.
Oh, to cut.
Oh,
Because
to
they
do-
always had
Organize
they always
it.
had the bike. They always. You're right. They
Yeah.
always had the bike part of it first, and now, yeah.
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 Yeah,
And
so
then
we-
the parade of lights too. You
Parade-
guys,
yeah.
That's fun. 'Cause you
Yeah.
guys- and that's a little chillier than the 4th of July.
Yeah,
That's a little more
just a
challenge.
tad.
That's a
Yeah,
little more challenge.
yeah.
So we have just about a minute.
Okay.
So is there any other things are there anything else you need? I mean, volunteers are great. Donations are great. You get, can someone just
Yeah. What about bikes?
bikes?
I mean,
how do
donating
they
bikes.
donate bikes? I guess that would be what's
Are
that
you still
process?
looking for bikes?
Yeah, we're not actively looking because we do have a lot of bikes, but we are accepting them. We try not to accept them in the winter when there's
Yeah, because yeah.
But now, yeah, we're accepting them, and yeah, just come by when we're open. We prefer people don't leave bikes
Yeah.
just outside when we're closed, but you can come by when we're open, and feel free also to call or send pictures of what you have if you live far away, if you know, whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, we always
Do you still do the bike for, what that has the sort of handicapped person in?
that is still in sort of not really disrepair, but it's kind of the malfunctioning a little bit, and so it's so it's on hold
Oh, okay.
for now until we get that
Yeah,
fixed. But and you know, one of our favorite places to take people was along the sidewalk that overlooks the river, but it's too
It's too rough now.
it's not in good shape because of the bank. It's sort of the sidewalk is getting crooked, but we can still take them around the
Yeah.
neighborhoods and things. They love that.
So that was our
But
time.
that was our time.
Okay.
So
Thank you so much.
Thanks.
for coming
Thank
in,
you
and
for-
good luck on your silent auction.
Thank you.
Remember
Yeah.
the 26th and the Moose. We'll see you next week
Bye.
on the feed.